Hi there, this is Sheena Rowlands and today I'm sharing with you case file 420 for CSI. And I've printed it off so I can keep an eye on the evidence I need to use and keep referring back to the image and the colours. So I've dug through my staff and found quite a few bits that I'd like to use, and using my silhouette I've created a typewriter. It was a cut file and I've just cut it out in creams and blacks. And I'm going to create an A4 layout for you today. That's a picture of me when I was 6, and that will make more sense later on, but I thought it also went with the colours. So these are lots of old papers. I love the CSI challenges because it actually makes your stash burst, and I don't know whether you're like me. Some of these are basic grey papers from years ago. So I'm trying to find one to use as a background. I don't want to use plain cardstock for this. So I really like this one with the letters on. I'm trying to imagine what it looks like A4, but I also quite like this green one. So at this stage I'm debating. I think both of them are from the Recess collection from Basic Grey. And if you remember them, that will certainly take you back. So I'm just trying to imagine what this would look like as an A4. I do more A4 scrapping than I used to. I think it really kind of like challenges yourself a little bit rather than always doing 12 by 12. Also, they're easier to store. You can use normal folders and page protectors. So yeah, take up less room depending on how prolific a scrapper you actually are. So this is just an A4 template and I'm going to draw around it with a pencil because this is the background that I've chosen. And I think it's called something like Erroneous. And I remember thinking about it at the time. So I've cut the piece of paper, A4. I've got lots of bits and pieces from lots of different ranges. Quite a bit of Vicki Boutin actually as well in this tray. But basically I literally shop my own stash when I do a CSI challenge, looking for bits that matches the colourways. That's where I normally start. And I also look at the evidence of what's listed. Debbie's very clever with these challenges and comes up with new ideas all the time. So I would really recommend you check out CSI both on Instagram and on Facebook. There are prizes as well for the challenges, so it's definitely worth uploading your layouts to the correct albums. So the topic for this layout could be anything connected with autumn, but it also talked about recording your journaling using typing, which I'll come to later on. Also talked about secrets, and the typewriter kind of made me think about school. So I'm going to create a layout that is roughly connected with growing up and education. So you can see me messing about with a clock there. On the list of evidence is lots of things, but clocks and watches are there, pens, pencils, inks, blacks, stars, typewriters, text pattern, flowers, leaves, numbers, punctuation, and I am mentally thinking about them. Even though you can't see the list on the screen, I've got it propped up on my desk and I will keep referring to it to see if I can add a few more bits in. And the bits I'm holding at the moment are brads. They're metal brads. I'm not even sure of the manufacturer, but their punctuation, I can't tell you how long. They've been in my stash over 10 years and I'm actually going to use 2 on this layout. Whatever happens, they're upside down at the minute because they're brads and they've got metal sticking out the back. But there's going to be one either side of the typewriter and I definitely like the way they look. And I can't believe, I knew I had them. It took me a bit to find them, if I'm honest. I'm not the tidiest when it comes to storing stuff. Now this acetate, I'm not sure if it's Tim Holtz or whether it could be Ranger or it could even be like Rusty Pickle. I'm not sure. These are names that you know. In the end, it doesn't make the cut. I just feel like it's too square. And I didn't want to cut it down because the pattern goes around the edges. So I'm just having a think about it, but no, it doesn't. And these are some bits from the papery range from, I think it's Print Shop with Vicki Boutin. So I'm just having a look now. As I say, clock was on the list and I tried lots of different clocks. Don't like them in the end, they don't make the cut. But hey, I'm certainly looking around my stash, which is something I don't always do. So I'm just going to bring in the list in a moment of the evidence to include. Obviously, you don't need to include all of it. I kind of see it as a challenge, which always makes me smile. And one of the things on there is typewriter font or key font. And I dug through my stash and I found these. I think they are Graphic 45. And I thought they would be perfect, and I was going to put the year, but actually they're just a little bit big. But I do use one eventually. But at the moment I'm trying to figure out whether I want to put the date on here or put it on the typewriter itself above the keys. And I have a fiddle about with it, to be honest. But that's one of the things I like about scrapbooking. I really enjoy just concentrating on just fiddling about. I really enjoy embellishments particularly. So I'm looking at the list. As you can see, I've printed it off, and so far I've managed to get text pattern, typewriter, leaves, flower, punctuation. I'm definitely looking at adding a person, and I'm going to add some ink splats and some stars maybe. As I say, the clock doesn't make the cut. I'm looking to see if there's any other layers I can put in. I've got the pen and pencil there as well. I think it's definitely got a school theme without being overdone. I do find a little font there, and I think, should that be better? There's some fabric flowers that I was thinking I could colour, but no. But I do find a title when I'm digging through my Vicki Boutin, and I go with Write Your Own Story. And I think that works really well. And then I found that little heart, which is also Vicki Boutin. So yeah, add another layer, add another thing in. I know a lot of people that make videos, they actually plan them out in advance. Well, I'm usually quite spontaneous, and that's why it takes me so long, because I'm thinking while I'm recording. But I've stuck all that down, that literally like all that onto the base now, because I've decided it's time to stop messing. So I'm actually just punching some holes with a paper pricker, and I'm going to just put these brackets either side of the typewriter. So I'm assuming brackets come under punctuation. I think they do, and I really like the way they look. That one's possibly a little bit far out, so I just move the hole a little bit. Sorry about the shine off the photograph. And I really can't believe they've actually made it on the layout. So that's all really good. So now I'm thinking about what other bits to add. So I've come back with one of those typewriter keys from the Graphic 45, and I'm actually going to put my age on it. So I'm 6 in this photo, so that's the number 6. And I've got a little person brad. It's a little girl, and I decide that I'm going to add that in too. I decide to actually fold down the back and just add some foam pads to stick it in place, because it would mean taking part of the layout apart to actually be able to put the hole through. So I'm just deciding where I'm going to put it. I actually put it on the number 6 in the end. For such a small thing, I move it around continuously until I'm happy with its positioning. Now I still wanted to include the year, and I found this tab on a sticker sheet. I can't even tell you the manufacturer. And I'm going to add in and bring in some typewriter font and write the year on that. You can't see it very clearly, but it does say year at the top, and I'm then going to add it to the wood journaling spot on the left of the photo. Now in the final images you'll find that I have added journaling. I did it off camera because 1, I wanted to think about what I wanted to write, and 2, I wanted to type it. I have an ancient typewriter that my father-in-law left me, and I haven't used it for a while, if I'm honest, and I wasn't even sure if it would work. And because I was going to add it to the wood there, I wanted to type on vellum. So it did take me a bit of time, but I do it off camera, but it is in the finished images, and it touches on the facts that I'm dyslexic, and that's why I thought it would go really well with the school images and the typewriter. And was dyslexia a thing in the 70s? That's how I start my journaling. But it's something I've never ever scrapped about. So I was really pleased that this challenge actually pushed me to talk about that. There is extra journaling, and I've stuck it to the back of the layout because there's some things I didn't really necessarily want people to see. So ink splats was on the list, and I found a little stamp, and I'll come back in with some black ink and I'll stamp a few around the typewriter. I'm just checking it out there. Yeah, I quite like the way that looks. Sometimes I want the second press, so I do think I bring in a scrap. You'll also find I've added some Shenanigans stars, a little company that I run, and their little 3D printed stars as well, because that is also on the list. So please do check out these challenges. You will really enjoy them. They will stretch your scrapbooking and use up your supplies, which is what we all want. So that's the finished layout without the journaling. here it is finished. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you doing so. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you would like, and I hope to see you here again real soon. Bye for now.